Alright, what's up, y'all? 9:46 a.m. Another trading day. So we on Forex Factory. Uh, so let's do the same thing. So basically, what we're waiting for is we waiting for the last bit of news to come out. The last bit of red news, actually. Yeah. And we had some red news at 10 a.m. So in the meantime, while we waiting for that, Um, the first thing we do in this live stream is we're gonna go into all my funded accounts to show y'all like everything is the same from the last stream and to show as much transparency as possible. So we're gonna go into my first account right here. This is the 50K account. We're gonna log in. All right, and we're gonna go to uh the actual account right here. And as you can see, everything is still the same. I'm still in drawdown, almost there to hit in the max drawdown. Everything is the same. And the next account, so this is the 50K. The next account is the Effectify account. So we sign in here, and where is it? It's right here. We go into it. Just letting this load. Everything is the same because we didn't take any trades, as you can see right here. Then the last account, this is another 100K account. I sign in. What do you mean something went wrong? Is it tripping? Uh, there we go. Now it's loading. All right. So this is the last account. This is a funded account right here. So let's click on it. So everything is still the same. Like I said in the last streams, this right here is not accurate. Their dashboard is tripping. So my actual profit, my actual loss right now, my actual drawdown is actually 3.4 thousand dollars. Not a lot in terms of the account size, right? So that's the three things. Now we can get back into the charts and do what we do every day. Show up, analyze, see if there's an opportunity. If there's no opportunity, walk away. If there is, great. We may get a trade, we may take a loss, may take a win, we may take a break even. So we know that USD JPY, I've been like short term bearish right here and stuff like that. So let me see what's going on this lower time frame. So the daily, we're still flowing down on bearish, right? Let's go to this validation time frame to see what happened. So basically yesterday where we was at this area right here, right? And I was expecting price to come to this 10 EMA, which is that black line, or that 10, 20 EMA, which is the red line. Reject, create a setup on the lower time frame, which is the 15-minute, and continue downwards. But instead, we actually reflushed and started moving downwards. To be honest, this market condition doesn't really look too great to me because, like I said, whenever I see a market condition that doesn't have the cycle, if you want to know what the cycle is, what I look for, I have it on my channel. I even talked about it in the last two streams that I did. But basically, since price is not showing me the cycle, it keeps flushing, then um creating a few breaks of structure, but it's not completing the breaks of structure. It keeps flushing again. It's not really a great market condition right now. So for now, I'm gonna just put it in blue because I know I can like eye it, but it's not ready for me to even watch this. Let's see what gold is doing though. Gold. So from yesterday, where we was at yesterday, Okay, so overall, I was saying bullish price action like that. Yeah, from yesterday, I was like, I liked how price came to this. From this point right here, I was expecting price to come to this 10 and 20 EMA. But the problem when this candle was printed was it was a huge sell-off candle, so it made me ignore it because I was expecting price to chop around, and we ended up dead chopping around in this area. So right now there's still nothing to do. If I can go back on this daily time frame right here, yeah, there's just nothing to do right now. So I can keep this in blue. And what am I basically expecting for me to actually watch this? Well, let me see. Let's see. Came up. If we can do this something like this, where we come up with a lot of momentum, right? Pause about at 10 and 20. It's the same thing I look for every day. Then I would drop down on the lower time frame and wait for my entry setup. Let's see what's happening with this market right here. Okay. Um, flushed. It's two, three. Okay. All right. So what I was expecting yesterday for this actually occurred. So we had the flush where price came under all the MAs like this, right? And then we had to move up, which is what I was expecting. So we broke down. So we broke up, broke down, broke up once. Okay. And then we're pausing by that 10 EMA. That's something I want to see. So I'm gonna put this in green. Let me look at the lower time frame to see what's going on this, because it might set up. Uh, okay, okay, okay. I actually like this. Um, what I'm expecting for. Wait, before I continue, let me actually. Uh, Before I actually continue with this on stream, I like to actually post that I'm live on my Instagram real quick. I thought y'all. Won't take me just a few seconds, y'all. Just a second. Alright. So what am I expecting on this entry time frame? I want price to push out of this area right here. As the MAs start to rise up, the 10 and 20, the black and red line, I want price to pause, which is like just at least one candle that prints before taking out the previous candle's high, and it rejects alongside the MA as it starts to look like the MAs are starting to rise up. If you get what I'm saying. So something like you're gonna notice the MAs are gonna start to like kind of slope upwards as it's rejecting nicely on it, and then I will set a buy stop above that high for the purpose of potentially continuing this overall move, and I could potentially manage for a larger uh trend and something like that. Whatever. So I actually like this. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for this to actually set up, it doesn't actually have to set up. But the beautiful thing about trading is, even though you can analyze the market, let's just say that price wanted to just drop off the face of the earth. Oh no, I was wrong. Nothing to do. Did I lose money? No. It's okay. So let's see. This is a great example right here. Yesterday, my analysis failed right here. It did completely the opposite, but I didn't take any trades. Let's actually go on the higher time frame to see what's going on with that huge drop. Okay, so we're still like on the weekly, we're still overall bullish, you know. Let's see what the context time frame is doing. So we flushed out right here. We came up, made the first break of structure, and it's reflushing right now. So what we can expect is it's just the same thing. Price is not ready yet. Since it came back under the M base, we can consider this whole thing the context flush, right? And all we gotta wait for is for price to clear this high on the context time frame before we even go down onto the validation time frame. That's all we gotta do. All right, the next one we have is it's probably gonna be the same type of thing on USD CAD. So yeah, the same type of thing. Uh, We already discussed that we're overall bullish for USD CAD. You know, we had the flush, but with USD CAD, hmm, interesting. It's just right here. Let me look at the 1 hour to see what's going on. Hmm, the context time frame. So for now, like it didn't flush completely. It still has a chance to bounce off of this 10 on this context time frame, but that also aligns what we would expect for our validation if we even did jump onto the validation right here. So on the validation time frame, we have bullish structure, breaks up twice, it breaks down. What I would want for price to do is basically, you know, push up with a lot of momentum, right? Pause by the 10 to 20, opportunities on a lower time frame potentially. I know Bitcoin didn't look clear. Yeah, Bitcoin's still not ready based on what I look for because we're still in this flush cycle on the context time frame. So the only thing that looks like it could set up, ooh, only thing that looks like it could set up on this market is this one right here. So let's go on my entry time frame right here, and we're just gonna wait. Uh, what I can do is actually get my accounts prepared. Let's see. So the thing with this one right here, I think I noticed that the issue with trying to trade this market is since I have three different accounts, they have different pricing. I really need to figure out this mapping issue for the copy trader, but yeah, let's see. Let me go into my accounts real quick to see the actual pricing. Because when I see price so close to making an opportunity, I need to get prepared. I think this was I think this was the same thing as this one right here. Let me just make sure. Yeah. This thing is the same thing right here, but it has different pricing. Okay, this is the 15-minute time frame. I was like, why is it all the way up here? It's showing something different. There we go. There we at. Like 360. And the other account, let's see. Okay, what just happened? Oops, I'm tripping. Okay. I'm just making sure I know what the symbols are. What is it? Is it ink? Uh, mm, I think it would be this. So let me see how. Yeah, it's the same. So you see how it's like different pricing? 23065. 065 would be right here. Actually, it's not too far off for both of them. Oh, but they're different symbols, so it wouldn't work. Even if I try to use a trade copier. Mm, What's it called? Traders Connect. That. So a market like this, when things like aren't the same pricing, what I would typically do is I would just turn them all off and just enter them individually, like manually. And I would just accept the fact, like, if I miss one account, then it's okay and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take these all out like that, turn them off because they're not gonna do it. And yeah, it's pushing higher now, so we could get a setup today. Let me also open up Meta 25. Yeah, this is exactly like if we can continue to close, because keep in mind, this candle can close anywhere within this 9 minutes. Just something we gotta keep in mind. Okay. Uh, mm, um, okay. So far it's moving extremely great. It could set up in the next like after this candle close. If it still looks great, it could set up in the next candle after it. If it can get that pause. depending on how it's rising up because we still need the MAs to start to rise up a bit. We just have to see patience. Y'all might see me actually enter a trade. Like if this sets up too, not only for my funded accounts, but my funded accounts are gonna be the first ones I try to enter the trades on. But after that, I'm gonna try to enter for my own challenge accounts for at least one account. I don't want to be like managing too much accounts without the trade copier because that could be a little bit stressful. So I'm gonna just at least pick one challenge account with my funded accounts as well because I'm taking a challenge as well. But I'm only focusing on the results of the unfunded accounts right now. Patience. I'm telling y'all, real trading is boring. Don't get fooled by social media where they make it seem like trading is something where you wake up at 8 a.m. You click your button and you make your money and then you go to bed. Nah, that's not how it works. A lot of people on social media will try to they will try to fool the beginners into thinking trading is that easy when it's not that easy. You have to wake up, show up to the markets, analyze. You might not get a trade. You might analyze just to take a loss, but all these stuff adds up, all of them. So whenever you see me with a payout, a withdrawal from trading, just know that that withdrawal came from wins, losses, and break evens combined. Like on average, I typically on average I try to withdraw like once a month. I'm just making conversation with y'all because I'm bored waiting for the setup. But typically, what I try to aim to withdraw like at least once a month, and the reasoning behind that is because you need to look at your trading from a long term perspective. I don't like to look at my trading from a daily perspective, weekly perspective, and the reason for that is because a profitable month could be made of a losing week and winning weeks together. So it's no point in focusing on, oh my gosh, I had a losing week this week. Oh my gosh, it's the second losing week because the last 2 weeks you can have profitable weeks and you end off the month with a lot of money, and then you can withdraw at the end of the month. Because trading is this thing where you if you have a big account, it takes just one winning trade to make somebody's like daily income or monthly income. It takes just one good trade. So, what else should I talk about while I'm waiting for the setup? Okay, let's see, how is it rising? It's starting to rise a bit. I like to highlight it too. So as we came up, made its way back above the image, just not like that. I feel like I wanted to like rise up a bit. The MA is to start to rise up a bit more. But what was I gonna say before? Um, it was another topic I was gonna speak on while I'm waiting. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna speak on. How long have I had my like all my accounts? I know in my last live streams, I talked about uh how long I had this account right here. I had this one for a year. This one I had my 5% account. I had that since I say I think June, July, either one of those. June, July is when I had this account, and then the Effectify account, I had got that one in December. Yeah. So the way how price is moving right now, yeah, I wouldn't consider this as a entry, right? Because like I said, I want price to like the MAs to start to rise up, right? The MAs, I talked about this in the last stream. The way how the MAs is moving with price is moving in the middle, like just in the middle, like this with price, right? Now, when you see price moving in the middle like this, it can easily, fall back down like this until we actually make a move that's starting out of it. Unless we can start to like this candle can start like if it closes all the way up here, then the MAs will start to look like it's rising up a bit more, and that's when I would be willing. So it's just depending on how price interacts with this MAs right here. So what I can actually do to get prepared is just in case price wants to close up here, because I know if price closes up here, the MAs are probably gonna look something like a little bit up like that. So I could potentially like get everything ready just in case the last few minutes price wants to do make a move like that. So this is gonna be extremely hard doing this on multiple accounts. Um, no copy trader this time. Uh, I'm gonna do all the calculations from my phone. Let's see. I just realized this thing wasn't even in order. Like, I'm just putting it slightly above because I had issues with spreads before in January, just tagging me early. Yeah, sound like this makes sense to me. Let's see. Um, I like how I don't have to. I can just see how much it is because it tells me the risk as 25. I risk 0.65 by the way, y'all. So I'm just trying to see which one it is. That's a little bit higher. All right, this right here, where how it's moving all the way down, even if I mean it could still push all the way up the last few minutes. Could still push all the way up. Uh, So it just all depends on where the price closes at this area. Let's get everything prepared. I like it to be perfect. There we go. Here we go. So the only way is for price to reject all the way up here, because I know that's gonna make it look like it's rising. Yes, one account prepared. Um, what I could do is go on here and I'm checking 50. Let me put this whole thing on full screen so I can see. You see how it's rejecting like that? Yeah, so where's this? 23133. 23045.045 point. What was it again? Uh, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna just keep it like that. Oh no, that's 3% count. That's 1%. We're not risking one. Uh, there we go. So that's prepared. Um, then my last count. So we put everything like this, put it like that, and then so even if those rejecting it, I still need it to look like it's rising. So okay, it's pushing up like that. It's rising a bit. Let's, let's see. almost ready. If we can push up higher. All right. Mm, it's simply if it doesn't rise up, I'm not gonna do it. Yep, it's not ready for me yet. Because you see where it closed? It closed as the MAs are just moving just sideways. So it can easily just move sideways until we can make a potential move out. So it's still a waiting game. Don't get me wrong, it's almost there to potentially setting up. So if we can just do what I'm expecting, where the MA start rising with price, or it looks like it can, um, the MAs tell a good story with price. So that's what I'm looking at with price. So the theory behind wanting to want price to interact with the MAs as it's rising is because um if- I talked about it in, I think, the first stream, or yesterday's stream, is because the way how MAs and price move is you're gonna notice it moves like this, where get my brush tool, where it's moving sideways like that, and then if a trend wants to happen like a bullish trend, the MAs start to rise up like that. Then when price wants to go into a consolidation phase, you're gonna notice that the MA starts to move sideways, and then when it's ready, it's gonna start to move higher. What the hell? It's gonna start to move higher like this, like sideways, higher, sideways. We don't know when it's gonna completely move higher because the MA's lag, but as it starts to rise up, something like this, as it starts to rise up, right, that potentially we can expect it because of the previous action and multiple on time frame analysis. Okay. So this is what I want to happen. Is we can see that the MAs are starting to rise up. Let's just say I want price to close somewhere up here before taking out this high. If I still want to take this high as an entry. So if we can close somewhere up top here, then I'll set the buy stop. But even if it takes out this high, it can still make another setup right after it with this drawing that I have right here. This will be perfection right here if it closes like exactly right there. All right, so what we have here is price pushed above this high that I was expecting to take my entry. So whatever pending potential order I was gonna set over here, you know, I'm no longer interested in this high, right? But it doesn't mean so either two things can happen. Price can, fly without me, or it could create another setup, or it can fail down. So just like this drawing, what I basically want is I need at least one more candle. So after this candle prints, I need at least one more candle that pauses, nicely as the MAs are still rising against it, and I can set a buy stop above it. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. Mm, The waiting game of trading. All right, let's see how this candle closes in the next 17 seconds. So it's still in this range. As long as it's still in this range, it's still relatively moving with the MAs, and the entries are still valid and stuff like that. This is actually perfect. You see, so you see this right here. This is what I mean by the MAs rising. As the MAs start to rise, even though it's not complete, we can expect it. Looks like it's gonna take out this high immediately. So I'm watching this high. I don't want it to get taken out because if it gets taken out, I gotta wait again. And the further it goes from the M, yeah, it got taken out. So I can't look at this high. So that means I gotta wait again for this candle to print and just see how the next candle interacts. Preferably, I would like the next candle. Like after this candle prints, I would like the next candle to move down at like coming close to the 10 at least. But you can see what I mean by I want price to rise up with the MAs. You see how the 10 and 20 is starting to rise up like that. It's even though it's not fully shown the MAs rising, that's the foundation or the start of a move potentially. And simply if we just clear the high, there's nothing for me to do. I just missed on the opportunity. So just wait, man. I actually like this right here. So if one more candle can print, you see how it's close? This candle was close enough to the MA. So if one candle can print, it'll be a nice buy stop above this high. At least one candle. Right. Just a lot of waiting. All right. So that candle has printed. Oh, this looks nice. If, as long as Price can print this candle, y'all should see the smile on my face because it looks nice. But as long as Price can print right here, like I said, without taking out this high, um, it doesn't do anything crazy where it breaks through the MAs, the 10 and 20. Then I would be happy to take the buy stop above it. Yep, this looks nice. I can see. Like I expect these things because I tested it. All right, so what I'm gonna do, even though it's like 13 minutes, I'm gonna prepare all my accounts due to the fact that I have multiple accounts, so I gotta prepare them. It doesn't mean it may set up, but I'm just preparing all the orders. So let's start off with this one. I already got the stop above the high. Um, the stop loss could be right here. Yeah, it makes sense. Um, the next one is this one right here. Put this in full so I can see the chart. I could say something like 23, 180, 116, 23, 180, 116, 116. Stops could be something like 23, 111, 13, 11, 13. Uh, 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 Something like that. Then I gotta make sure this. I gotta make sure everything looks good on here. Alright, everything looks good. The risk. Trying to get it to be exact. Come on. It's definitely three. Wow. There we go. So those are adjusted. Everything is adjusted. My MetaTrader account. I'm doing the MetaTrader one for my phone just cause it's easier. So let's see. So just getting everything prepared. Okay. 164.96. All right, I got all the accounts ready. So if we close like this, I'm gonna put the buy stop on. And let me just recheck if there's any upcoming news later on. Okay, so we're good. Just waiting patiently to see if I will get this opportunity to trade. Trying to see where I should put my stop loss because I put my stop loss wherever the pullback is. So I'm trying to adjust it. 0.3097 keeps going deeper. 23083. Yeah, something like that. Um, Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, I was wondering what was going on, but look at this right here. If price closes like this, the way how price just came off with this huge selling candle like that, this makes this whole area just invalid unless in the last few minutes, like I talked about in this area right here, where if this, because this candle hasn't closed, if we can just like pull back all the way and we close all the way up here, then the MAs will look like it's rising again. But now it just looks like it's moving sideways with price. And then on top of it, I don't really too like this area. I mean, let me see. I'm trying to see how big the stop is. I mean, if it was to reject, it would look good, but still waiting, something like that. So if we can just reject all the way up, if it closes like this, I'm canceling the trade idea. Because what can happen is if we end up breaking like this, and the way how it's moving sideways like this, we could end up flushing right back down to the 50, then creating a new setup as we start pushing up, pausing against the rising, and then to push up higher like that. Something like that. Eh, I should have got this prepared. 23,075.09. Yeah, 0509 like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, okay. So, um, this this looks good actually. I'm just trying to get everything. There we go. I'm setting the buy stop right now. So I got the buy stop for that. Send the order. I still gotta calculate this one. Uh, mm, All right. Yeah, I set up the buy stop for the accounts, and I'm gonna try to set up an entry for one of my challenge accounts on my phone, but I'm not showing it because it don't count like I said. But just double checking all the orders are there. Uh, Let me just do it from my y'all ignored this right here. What I'm doing. This is for my challenge, so y'all ignored this account. I'm just trying to it wants me to re-log in, so uh, sorry y'all. Yeah, I'm just doing it for one account. What's this? All right, there we go. Now I can do this. All right. So in order for me to cancel this, it just depends on what candles are printing after it. If it's not, if it's showing me weakness with the next few candles, then I can cancel it. But we got pending orders set. So far, I like how the candle is moving. Got a minute for this candle to close. There's no reason for me to cancel the order right now, so I'm keeping it on because it's still moving with the MAs. The orders are supporting it up. So depending on how these next candles are moving, like how they close, will decide if I cancel this order. So what I'm thinking now is if price ends up closing at this area, I will close the order because it's still it's doing the thing where damn, can't talk. It's doing what I talked about where if it ends up closing at this area, look how prices interact with the MAs, sideways movement. So that's the reason why. That's why I haven't canceled anything because it has to close. All right. So it ended up closing right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cancel all of these. Canceled. So did I cancel? All right, there we go. It was just tweaking. All right, that's canceled. I gotta cancel this one too. Now I'm gonna cancel the one for my challenge. So those were one, two, three, four. All right, four accounts. I gotta make sure. All right. So at this point right now, I'm gonna just hop off the charts because it's coming near 12. You can clearly see there's no volume right now. And in order for me to even consider this now, since price had ended up closing like this, what I will want price to even do for me to consider this is again we move up, the MAs start to rise up, then we pause again against the MAs, against the rise in MAs. Then I would set a buy stop. But the fact that it's close to 12 o'clock, I don't even see much volume in the market. Doesn't have to be specifically on 12 o'clock. What am I doing? I'm tripping. Where's the indicator? Doesn't have to be specifically on what's it called? There's no volume. Yeah, you can see the volume in the candles. Yeah, the fact that the candles aren't showing volume as of right now, and it's not doing the setup where it's rising on the M8s, pausing like that for a buy stop, makes me want to just hop off the chart. Before I completely hop off the chart, let me just. I think everything else when I analyzed this was completely unclear. Let's go. Oh shoot! It go to setup. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh no, it was ugly. It was definitely ugly. Yeah, that was an ugly move. I almost thought it made a setup right here because this looked clean. Um, Especially if I go on bar replay. Go on bar replay. But it had looked clean, but it wasn't. This wasn't a good opportunity based on what the higher time frame was doing right here, chopping around. So this was basically like a flush in this area. So we moved up. So gold might look good for tomorrow, but you know, we had came to the market, we showed up, we analyzed, we expected something, we set our pending order. We didn't get what we wanted, we canceled, and now it's time to leave.